Hello and welcome to Perfectly Paired with Chef Jim May. Today we're doing a nice countryside dish that we've had requested from our own wine club members. It incorporates just a few of these ingredients, but what takes it over the top is using a wonderful red wine. It's a Beef Bourguignon, which means beef with Burgundy, and this is a Burgundy wine made with Pinot Noir by Pietro Perry. And along with our special dish, we have a special guest. Our wine club manager, Kristen, and she's going to help me with it. And if I can get her to taste the food when I'm done, I would be happy.
I would love to, but there's something wrong.
What's that?
Right now I see empty glasses.
Well, I have a wine that I'm going to cook with, but you always drink with what you cook with because you don't want to drink terrible wine.
No.
And this happens to be the 19 Leras Pinot Noir, Russian River.
And this is in the upcoming Fall Club shipment, so I believe the 17 and 18 available online now, but 19 shipments are going out next week, so within 2 weeks, you too can be sipping wine while you make Beef Bourguignon.
And this recipe is going to be in the newsletter.
Cheers.
And cheers. And it's sweet. And even though it's a 19 and it's relatively young, it's rich and sweet, and it goes wonderfully with this Beef Bourguignon, which is basically a French stew. And like I said, we just use some basic ingredients. We have a piece of meat, we have onions, mushrooms, potatoes, carrots, and some stock and tomatoes. That's pretty much it, but it is cooked for 2 to 3 hours.
What kind of meat? What kind of meat do you use?
This is an inexpensive cut. It's called boneless chuck steak or chuck roast. You use 2 to 4 pounds, depends how many people you want to serve. You take it and you just cut it. It can go across the grain, with the grain, it doesn't matter because it's going to cook so long. And I'm just going to cut it into 1-inch pieces. So you take 2 strips like that, you cut them into 1-inch pieces.
This is easy so far.
And all these pieces, you're just going to salt, pepper. You're going to put it in a Dutch oven and brown it. It'll take 6 to 8 minutes to brown. And then you take the meat out, you put in the onions and the garlic and the red wine and the stock and let it simmer or put it in the oven for 2 hours. Then you put in the remaining ingredients, give it another hour, and you'll be ending up with something like this.
Oh shoot, it's already done.
It's already done. And it might...
It smells amazing.
So this...
I do have a question. Why didn't you salt and pepper it first? You do it after you cut it?
No, I do it before I saute it or brown it off.
Okay, so you cut first, then season.
Yeah, you cut it first and then season it. Toss it in the bowl. And then you're going to cut up the onions. You're going to mince the garlic. It goes in one bowl. That's half of it. And then the onions. You take 1 or 2 onions, depending on how much you're going to do. And you dice it. You slice it like that, slice it like that.
My knives are not that sharp. That's amazing. Is there a special way to chop onions or not?
No, be careful not to cut yourself. That's the special way. And then we have mushrooms.
Okay.
And mushrooms you can either quarter them. I like them kind of thick sliced. And you can cut them. I was in a class once and in my restaurant experience, I can cut mushrooms without even looking at them.
Oh gosh, you're scaring me.
No.
And you use this piece too, the stalk.
Yeah, if it's I take it off if it's brown and ugly, but if it's still fresh, you're gonna have lots of.
You're scaring me.
Yeah, this
Have
is.
you ever hurt yourself?
Not doing this.
Do you have all your fingers?
All of them so far. No, but like I said, yeah, if the stem's a little brown or a little dark, you want to take that off. But like I said, give it a little chop so you have some nice thick pieces. They will cook down into beautiful, meaty, mushroomy flavors that go with this.
And I have kids, so I chop my stuff even smaller so it becomes unpickable. They can't pick it out, but they get all the flavors. So it takes me a little bit longer to chop.
The potatoes, I use small red potatoes. You can even get them smaller than this where they're bite-sized, but otherwise you just want to take them and quarter them. Those are done. So they said they'll take 20-30 minutes to cook. Carrots, depending on the thickness, I like to do little half moons. So you just cut them like that. Move the mise en place. And then
The what?
mise en place
What's that mean?
means things in place.
Oh.
So you have, when everything's ready to cook, it's the mise en place, the things in place. And like I said, when they're small, there you go. So those are good. And basically that's all you really need. You have tomato
You
paste.
need garlic.
Garlic. We've minced the garlic
I have garlic.
real fine. I put in a couple little secret ingredients just to give it umami flavors. I put in a little bit of soy sauce, some good soy sauce, instead of some too much salt. The soy sauce gives it this little salty umami flavors. There's that, there's that. And like I said, it all is a sequence. Like you put in the meat's brown, the onions and garlic are cooked, then you put it all together with the wine, the stock, tomatoes, and a little bit of thyme, and a little bit of tomato paste. Real simple ingredients, real easy, low maintenance. You just need a couple, 3 hours in your home during the fall and winter.
Okay. And a couple bottles of wine.
Yeah.
So, question. Do you cook the meat and then take the meat out, then cook the garlic and the onions, and then add the meat back in?
Yes. And you don't cook the meat, you just brown it. Brown it gives it another degree of richness and a little more that caramelized, rich flavor that you want to get that goes with the wine.
What happens if you drink all the wine while you're chopping the veggies?
Then you pour more wine. Yes, this is why I have guests.
This is why I don't cook. That's why I come to gyms. I take you for granted. Okay, so now what do we do?
So then you just take, you can take a Dutch oven.
How many do you have?
We have a couple of them. It depends on the size. Like I said, what I have is a 2.5 pound chuck roast. The recipe I think you're going to get is called for 4 pounds, which is for 6 to 8 people, but you can cut it in half. But you take one of these Dutch ovens, heat it up. Everything's done in one pot. You put oil on it, salt and pepper these guys, and brown it off. Take it out and put it in a bowl. Then onions, garlic go in.
You don't clean the bowl? You
No,
use the grease
all the
from
stuff on the bottom that you brown it with comes up when you put in the wine and the stock, and that's called the fond, and it gives it more flavor.
It's all the better.
All the more better.
And beef bourguignon gets better the longer, like next
If-
day?
and next day it gets better. You'll find, because there's fat in this that dissolves after several, a couple hours, all that fat will come to the top. So if you have time, do it the day before, put it in the fridge, and you'll get a little thin layer of fat that you can scoop off. You don't need that fat. And
Is it better to have the fat?
No, I think all the flavor already is in there. Don't worry, there'll be plenty of fat in there. Even though it cooks out a bit, you'll still get plenty of fat.
All right, and then you serve this usually with?
Now, I've done it with polenta, but the classic presentation is you take egg noodles and I brown some butter and toss some parsley. And I mean, the noodles take about 8-10 minutes.
How do you brown butter?
Good question.
I burn butter.
Yeah. Well, that's one step too much.
Tell me.
When you take a half a stick of butter, you put it on.
Half a stick?
Depends how much butter
Delicious.
you like. You put the butter in a little saute pan over medium heat. You have to stay there with it because it's gonna foam up, and then all the milk solids are gonna drop to the bottom. And that's what's going to turn brown. And at the minute it starts to turn a little amber, you pull it off.
Okay.
And
Then you mix it in with the noodles.
and you mix it with well, like I said, you can make the brown butter ahead of time. Then when you cook the noodles, you just take and scrape all that wonderful brown butter. It'll pick up this nutty, rich, delicious taste of brown butter. And it gives it another thing. And you can serve, there's going to be these juices that accumulate, or are cooked down with the tomato and with the stock and the wine, and they will soak up with either the noodles or polenta. You can even put it with mashed potatoes. It's good.
I like mashed
Yeah.
potatoes.
Yeah.
Rice.
It's real flexible. Like I said, it's just a nice, hearty, wintry fall winter dish that goes great well because it's called Beef Bourguignon, beef with Burgundy. It goes great with our Pinots.
Because these are Burgundy, I guess. So cheers. Okay, when do we get to eat it?
Anytime.
Right here. Okay, while Jim's chopping over here and browning up the butter, I'll go ahead and tell you what's happening at the winery, what's going on now. Maybe I will. So wine club time. It is wine club. If you're a wine club member, your allocation should be on its way next week. Super excited. This is in it too. All the wines are tasting fantastic. We tasted them a little while ago with the staff. Or join Ben, myself, and Dave, our assistant winemaker, first 2 Tuesdays in November for unboxing and uncorking. We will, for you, open up every single bottle of wine that's in your allocation, and we will taste it, talk about the vintage, talk about the wine, the tasting notes. Kind of fun. It's on Zoom, so it's very interactive. You've got questions you want to ask Ben or Dave. Even if it's not about the vintage, about something else, go right ahead. Love you to join us. So you can find that on our events page now. What else is happening? We've got tons of virtual events coming up. We've got bingo. We have Pinot and Paella. We've got, we're going to San Diego in a few weeks. We're going to Palm Springs in January, so we got a little travel happening. We also have got some other big travel. We're cruising again. So June 2023, Istanbul to Rome. We've got about 15 cabins left. If you wanted to cruise, you want to hang out with us for 14 days, that's your opportunity. Or 14 days might be a little too much. Bodega staycation, details coming very soon. That'll be the last weekend in April. 3 days with us, wine dinner, seminar, all kinds of craziness. So we just want to hang out with you and drink wine with you, whether it's virtual, whether it's on the road, whether it's on the seas, or come visit us. My goodness, we are open. Reservations, of course, but we would love you to come see us as well. I've pretty much got everything there. I think we got a lot going on. We're busy. We love it.
I want to do it all, and I can't.
Because he has to cook. Someone has to cook.
Someone has to hold down the fort and
Someone
cook.
has to do this cooking with us. And Jim's going to be one of our guests on one of our other Wine Wednesdays, because you know we have 4 a month, right? 2 live. Ben and I are always on the first Wednesday of the month, sipping some kind of wine, causing issues. And then second Wednesday, it's clearly always Jim. Here we are. Third Wednesday, we're with a special guest, and fourth Wednesday, Monday update. So monthly update. So join us. We just want to see you. Here's what it is. I hear stuff browning. Is that the beef?
That's the beef. You get the oil nice and hot, and give it, like you said, a couple, 3 minutes on each side. You want to brown all the different sides.
So you're using small batches because your pan's not very big?
Yeah. If you have a bigger one, then if you crowd it too much, it's going to steam. And we don't want to steam it, we want to get it brown. Steamed meat doesn't have the same sort of complexity that the brown meat will have.
Steamed meat sounds disgusting. My parents used to steam hot dogs.
Yeah, it's like boiled meat. There's a reason for it, but you don't really want to do it.
So you have a lot of patience with cooking.
I do.
See, I tend to just go, for goodness sakes,
get it done.
Get it done. I got things to do.
Well, like I said, something like this, you prep for like 20 minutes, and then you do this for 10, 15 minutes, and then you just sit back and have a couple glasses or bottles of wine for the next 2 hours.
I could do that. But you can also make this ahead of time.
Absolutely.
Can you freeze this?
Yeah, like I said, it'll last 2 or 3 days after you cook it off. And
Can you freeze it?
You can freeze it. Freezes real well because it's got all that liquid around the meat and stuff, so it doesn't dry it out. It keeps it, like I said, it's a good, if you make a big bat, make it for 6, 8 people, and there's only 2 of you, you got 3 meals left.
That's the way I like to cook.
Yeah.
Plus, I have a Dutch oven, and I love the Dutch oven.
Yeah.
If you don't have a Dutch oven, what can you use?
Any kind of casserole pot. The reason the Dutch oven is good because it distributes the heat better, and it keeps the heat. It's like a cast iron pan. It distributes the heat a little better. You're getting a nice little brown color on this, and that's something you want. And it's going to brown a little bit on the bottom, which is wonderful because you want all those little bits are going to scrape up.
How much do you eat while you're cooking?
How much do I what?
Eat. Will you like try a piece of meat?
No.
You won't?
It's going to be tough. This is a tough cut of meat. It needs that simmering time to break down the muscles and to break down the fat. So, no, if you took this meat and try to do it medium rare, you'd be chewing it for about an hour.
So not recommended.
No.
And how long should it all simmer when you have it all done?
Easy hour and a half, 2 hours before you add the rest of the vegetables.
Can it go longer?
It can go longer. Yeah, if it goes too long, the meat will dissolve into like a mushy thing. You want the meat to have a little integrity and a little bit of structure to it. So these are getting, see, look at that. I don't know if you can see the cover on those.
Yeah,
It's
like
beautiful. That is going to translate to a better flavor and a richer flavor and a more complex to go with the wine.
What could you do if you're vegetarian?
You could do it all mushroom. Yeah,
And
and
what kinds
just
of
leave the
mushrooms?
mushrooms. I cut all the mushrooms. You can leave the mushrooms whole, and do
I don't
everything.
recommend it, but there are some of you out there.
No, the mushrooms are really. I would almost use more of the portobello mushrooms, where they're more like a steak. Or these are the brown mushrooms, which are baby portobellos, and
Are they?
yeah, and when they grow up to be big, they become portobellos.
So these are portobellos at a bargain?
Yeah, infant portobello. So I'm gonna take out these guys, and I'm gonna put in another batch to brown off. I've seasoned them all with salt and pepper. Salt and pepper.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I mean, it's every step of the way it smells good. So I'm gonna brown that off. As soon as that one is browned off, we're gonna start adding some aromatics. Okay, so the meat is browned.
Okay,
I'm removing the batches I've done,
okay.
and I'm going to add garlic and
These dang onions.
onion. Which
So
is-
hold on, I have a question for you.
Okay.
My son yells at me when I do it like that. He tells me I gotta do the upside down knife.
No,
It's great.
no, no.
He's 15. Clearly he's not.
He can do it any way that he's comfortable with.
He told me not to. Don't
Why would he do that? So you don't cut yourself?
He's 15.
Okay.
It controls the blade when you scooch it over like this, instead of like this.
I think you can get a better
me
straight
too.
like that. So if you need to add more oil, you can add a little bit more. You're going to cook this for 2 to 5 minutes till it's nice and it's translucent,
What
soft.
kind of oil did you add? Olive oil,
Olive
vegetable
oil. Not expensive olive oil, just pure olive oil, or you could use vegetable or canola oil. And this is cooking really nicely. Like I said, see the little bits and pieces I'm scraping up, all the brown stuff?
Yeah.
And what's left on there is going to be loosened up with that. If there's any,
You're not used
if
to
there's
cooking
any left.
with me, are you?
Luckily, I only need a cup.
You better hurry.
Yeah. So all the onions and garlic are nice and translucent and soft. I'm going to add what's left of the wine. Fortunately, I have another bottle. So you put in about a cup of red wine.
I think you don't measure.
Well, you can eyeball it. You put in about a half a cup of stock, and you put in a can of tomatoes.
So do you taste this throughout or no?
Nope.
You're good.
Nope. No, this will all cook down. I'm gonna bring this to a boil, scrape up all the bottom stuff, and add the meat to it.
Oh, did you feel that juice?
And we'll cover that and let it simmer. Put it on low. Let it simmer for a good hour and a half to 2 hours.
And then in 2 hours, the
In
pan,
2 hours, you're
the
gonna
pan
add.
gets bigger.
The can gets bigger, and the volume
And the
expands.
items get in there.
And then you add the rest of the aromatics. The herbs, the thyme, the soy sauce, the mushrooms, green onions go on the very top, or parsley, either one. So I'm going to strain out the cooked egg noodles. I'm going to put it right back into the pan with the gas off and add the butter, which this is the brown butter. So it's regular salted butter. You put it on the stove carefully for about 5 minutes till it turns a little amber, gives it that nutty, more complex taste, and that's ready to serve with our beef bourguignon. 2 ways you can serve it. You can serve it with the pasta on the side, like this, which gives the person the option. Because we want the juices in there, like I said. And then we have this. And this is going to, you want to mix it up. You want to put a little combination of everything in it. Lots of beef, lots of mushrooms, lots of juice. Like I said, the juice is a little loose, but it'll with the starch in the pasta.
So it's good if the juice is loose?
Juice. That's what the song said, yes.
Is that a song?
It is now. Okay. Oh, that's a mess.
Then you clean around the edge of the plate.
Yep, make it presentable. And then I'm gonna put a little green onion or parsley on the, I'm gonna put it on the pasta this time. It can go on both, but it gives a little more bite. Parsley is classic, but the green onion is a little more burst of flavor. And you wanna go try give that a little sample?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, now the only thing left to do is, oh, I see a problem.
There is clearly a problem.
Okay, I can fix that because I happen to have some more 19 Leras Pinot Noir from Papa Pietro Perry, which is the ideal perfectly paired beverage to have with this. So you can have the noodles separately, but my mode of eating is to kind of mix it to have a little bite of both.
I'm gonna try them separate first.
Okay, try them separate. Again, the brown buttered noodles have their own flavor and they're delicious.
Wine, food, wine.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing the pairing. Wine. Food.
Oh, I think you're gonna like it.
Am I?
I think.
I like anytime someone cooks for me. Let's be clear.
It's like your fruit.
Oh, see, I think that's awesome. Because the Leras has the spice, but I think the Peters could go well too, and so could the Pomard. Do you have those?
I do have those. But we're only going to open this one. I'll go in that box.
Ah, fine.
This one's got the earthiness. Yeah, when you have it with this and the mushrooms and all the umami stuff, the more fruit comes out and it just kind of pairs it perfectly. So that's
It's perfectly paired.
right there. What a novel name.
That's awesome. Cheers.
Cheers. I'm glad you could join me.
Thank you,
Yeah,
and thank you.
I look forward to seeing you
Awesome.
some Wednesday
Yeah.
on your turf.
Oh, game on.
Game on.